early on, but at the end of the day, now they've found their footing. And again, it shows up in the overall ranking itself. Entity being
Oh,
at the
wow.
second place, only second to Seoul, who were able to get a great chicken in the previous one for some reason, which, I mean, in normal circumstances, any analyst would say that was not possible. But again, it's just Team Soul. They always do things that are unbelievable. Entity following
True.
them up, came in as well, just closely trailing them with 211 points for them. On the other
You
side,
know,
WSB
scared.
making a humongous leap.
This is a little scary, mate, because Entity, I mean, I have pointed it out time and time again today that they have not played to perfection as we saw from them in week 1 and 2. Today, maximum they work towards 3 points, 4 points kind of a gameplay today in the 3 games that they've played. And with that also, an only single chicken dinner. They're sitting on the second position. I mean, it clearly tells you the prowess that Entity brings to the table right here in this lobby.
That is just Entity for you. Playing all the games to such perfection, and even after that, they're trying to find even better footing. And that is basically the entire theme of the game, because you need to be perfect than the perfectionist. Only then you'll be able to find that win. And it clearly shows in their game. 99 finish points, 118 position points as well, pushing them up so very close. But on to the next page. This is where the trouble is going to lie. 160 cut off after the day 1 of week 3. I'm excited.
Team Godlike OR, they've played it to perfection. They've played this day 1 of week 3 to perfection, and they found themselves in the top 16. And again, the best part being that this is just the start for week 3. We've still got tomorrow and day after 2 games to look at, and that is where these teams are going to be playing 3 more games each as we progress on along, which will definitely rack up those numbers. And the cutoff that is at 160, well, by the end of week 4, it wouldn't surprise me if it reaches all the way up to 250, I guess.
Could be possible. I was thinking about the exact same thing. Maybe 250, 275, that might be the cutoff, but we're going to discuss that later, because Team Prince, the team that we saw was on the first place, has now finally dropped out of the top 16. And is at the 17th position with 156 points. Now, this is worrisome. Not just a bit, but a lot. Because they're being trailed way too quickly by Hydra Official with 152 and Blind themselves 150. And that is when Blind is just not having those games that they normally would. Just 1 or 2 games and we're going to see them in top 8.
Exactly. Now, that is a cause for concern for sure, as you perfectly mentioned. Along with that, the likes of Team 8-Bit, well, slowly they're bringing up their numbers, but jumping from 18th to the 22nd position down to the 22nd position is probably not the kind of day that Team 8-Bit anticipated for themselves. Autobots, I'm really psyched and impressed by in today's performance, because slowly, but definitely decent kind of a trajectory is what they've showcased. Just hope that they climb up through the ranks by tomorrow's day end.
True. They really need to, and so do Reckoning. But on the last page, we're going to see Team X-Spark, Wind God. Now, these are the teams you would never expect to see out of those top 16 places. But here we are, they're not being able to synergize that very well with their teammates. I guess there have been a few problems, specifically talking about the positionings, the timings of the rotation. And I mean, with Wind God, I'm just going to say out loud, that is a problem of positioning. They're not being able to position themselves in a good place. That one shack, it's just not going to cut it whatsoever. And this is a team we know has got a massive potential. 33-point chicken dinner. They've only seen one other team do that, and that's WSB, who's literally on top of the table in top 5. So Wind God is a team that has got that potential, but they're just not being able to play onto that one. And down south, if we're going to look at, it's Medal, 4-Shot, Team Zero. Team Zero showed some members, but now they're fading away as well.
Absolutely. Now, as we move on through this final page, well, a lot should change tomorrow and day after. But as we progress on ahead, let's have a look at the finished leaders coming in from today, and the combined effort from these players after 21 matches. We've got Ninja Boy once again leading the charge, as he always does, with 44 finishes that he's been able to contribute for his team.
Card for Team Together Esports again performing, showing his skills with 32 finishes himself. On the other side, now we're going to see Troy from Entity. So finally, the team who's in that top 5, they've also got one of their players in those finish leaders too. And we were just talking about Troy as well, where Pukar mentioned that he has been a great player and he still is.
Right.
And this is one of the reasons. And just look at that. Finish contribution 31.31%. What's this with 3-1 for this man? 31 finishes, 31.31 percentage finish contribution. Something you gotta watch out for. Maybe an omen, a good one for Entity possibly. But Slug again from Global Esports stepping up 30 finishes with 27.5 to finish